I had an unfortunate incident at the airport today and they wouldn't take my ID. I don't know where my passport is, and an expired driver's license does not count. So, it's 7:15 in the morning, and I'm cannonballing it to St. John, New Brunswick. I'm driving a Jeep with a airbag light TPMS sensor that's out, and I don't know if we'll see it here, but I have a battery light that's been coming on intermittently for the last 2 years. It's only got 211,000 kilometers on it. Should be fine, right? Should be fine. It's 8:11 a.m. I've been on the road for a little less than an hour. This is the first stop. I started with less than a half tank of gas, diesel, filled up now, and I'm getting some breakfast at Tim Hortons. Okay, a little bit of a backstory here, since this is a bit of an unprecedented and unplanned trip. I had a ticket booked on airlines to go to St. John, New Brunswick today. Unfortunately, despite having put my passport someplace safe a few weeks ago so I would find it, I did not find it today, and as a result, had to look around for other ID. I found my license, which has a temporary extension attached to it until I receive my new one, because you have to order online right now, thanks to COVID. And I had the paperwork with me that it was renewed and extended through October. And I had my birth certificate. So those two things would meet Transport Canada's standards for flying on an airplane. In fact, the identification requirements don't even say that the photo ID has to be, quote, valid, which is language that's used on a lot of airline websites. In fact, what it says is that it has to be a government-issued photo ID with a photo and date of birth and a secondary piece of ID or two secondary pieces of ID together. So ideally, I could have just flown on the license alone. I had the license and the birth certificate, and the guy had the gall to say, well, do you have your SIM card with you? It was not with me because it didn't occur to me that that actually qualified as any kind of identification whatsoever. Apparently, that would have been enough to fly, but they turned me away at the gate and said, you will not be able to get on the airplane. I was a little frustrated. I immediately packed everything up. In my 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee, a couple of warning lights on the dash. It also makes a weird clunking sometimes when you turn the wheel right to left. Obviously, if I had planned to do this trip, I probably would have done some, let's call it preventative maintenance on the car. Okay, so I want to clarify a couple of things. I've said that I'm cannonballing to New Brunswick, but I'm not trying to set a speed record, and I'm not prepared, as I pointed out earlier. I have great love for the things that Alex Roy and Ed Bolian have done, but this is not exactly sea to shining sea. And of course, the Cannonball itself is a bit of Americana, and I'm here in Canada. I don't even know what a cannonball would look like in Canada. You know, we don't have a Red Ball garage on one end of the country and a Portofino in the other. Would you have to include ferries? Would it be the length of the non-ferry Trans-Canada Highway? Interesting to see if we could think about what that would look like. Not that I'm encouraging anyone to actually do that. It is just a thought experiment. What do we have here? This looks like an A4 with a hanging tailpipe. Ooh, we got a little patina on the front. He's racing. He thinks he's racing. There he is. I got the cruise control on. Here he comes. Here he comes. Couldn't handle being passed by a Jeep. It is 11:29. My goal so far was to get to Montreal by noon. And here we are arriving at the Isle of Montreal proper. On the island now. $11:49. We are in a shit ton of traffic, but this looks like it's gonna be short-lived, and it does appear that this should count as middle of Montreal, since there's the oratory on Mount Royal. That should count, right? That should count. Goal 1 achieved. Moving on to the next thing. Getting out of Montreal. We escaped Montreal and we are about to exit the island, starting, I think, about now. So off we go. Apparently the other end of this bridge, that's probably where we left. Other end of this bridge is traffic. Yeah, here's that traffic. Okay, so I'm in Trois-Rivières. It's 1:41. I'm about 45 minutes to an hour out of Quebec City, and Google tells me I'm going to be there at about 10 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Time tonight, if I keep track with Google, and that means it's actually only 9 p.m. Toronto time. So not making bad progress. Car's okay, second fill up. I'm at $150 of gas so far, and I got some snacks for the road. You know, the long haul snacks, Red Bull, Crispy Crunch, trash like that. But then this little break, walk around, time to go. So methinks I'm gonna have to be careful through this little stretch here. We're about halfway between Trois-Rivières and Quebec, and my map has been lighting up with reported speed traps. So despite this is Quebec and people do drive fast, I'm not sure if this is like taking it easy here or this is ticket territory. So we're just gonna keep our heads up and keep a lookout. So I found him. He was in the woods between the lanes, pointed straight out. So I think he's been kind of hanging around on the crossways between the east and westbound lanes. So he's out of our way now. Can slowly ratchet back up to a safe speed and get back on track. Okay, so I just literally heard a pile of sirens, and I think they were on the oncoming lanes, but there's trees in between the lanes, so I can't really tell what's over there. So there's another alert up ahead. I'm just gonna chill for a bit and see what happens around the corner, and we're almost in Quebec City, so that's good. Cops are having fun today. Just chilling behind a muscle car. Pretty cool. Hopefully we will not see the cops we're looking for. And if they see me, it don't matter. I'm being good. No, my muscle car. It seems like they're going from a 2-lane road to introducing a divided highway with 4 lanes through here. This is the section between Rivière-du-Loup and the New Brunswick border. They've dug right into the rock here, which is pretty cool. That's cool. And the terrain's changed, right? Aside from being rocky, it's like there's these hills with scrub and then lots of trees everywhere. The brush looks different. We're approaching the New Brunswick border in about 50 kilometers or so, which to me sounds like not very much after driving, I don't know, 800 so far. 437. That was bright green fluid and it's pretty clearly red in this Jeep, so that wasn't mine. But for a moment there, I thought I was about to have an even worse day than not being allowed in my plane and driving 1,400 kilometers with no planning for that whatsoever. Next stop is the border to New Brunswick, which I expect to actually be controlled, and I'm gonna have to show my paperwork to get in, because I do have approval to enter the province today, although it was from the airport, not by land, but I think that should still be okay. So there's definitely a checkpoint here.
Proof of vaccination, you have that?
I do, yep. First dose, second dose.
Are you going where?
I'm going to St. John and then traveling around New Brunswick for a week. I think I'm good now. Thank goodness I had everything. The thing they really wanted was the proof of vaccination, which makes sense to me. All right, the big guy's telling us to get the hell out of here. I don't know, checkpoints always make me nervous. Not quite 7 o'clock, but the sun is starting to set, so I need to pay attention. There's been a lot of signs to look out for moose, and this highway's been empty, so we've just been, the speed limit's 110, which is nice, which means I've been driving a GPS clocked 133, so that would be a 23 over ticket if I got caught. That's not the end of the world, and the highway's obviously designed to handle higher speeds. And there's really been nobody on it. I'm only maybe about an hour out of Fredericton right now. And I've been driving for almost 12 hours. So, quick health check. Still feeling good, hydrated, caffeinated, not hungry. I've been alert, focused, no mistakes. And I've only got 2 hours left, really, to get there. So it's about 200 kilometers in 2 hours. I'm gonna get there at 10 p.m. Sun goes all the way down at 9. But it's pretty low in the sky, so I don't want to be doing any more of this filming while I'm watching for moose and booking it across New Brunswick. So I will see you when I get to St. John. So I'm in St. John's, so I'm no longer on moose watch. It looks like I'm gonna get there at 9:45, which is 8:45 Toronto time. So if you recall, I left my Red Bull garage, which is Pape and Danforth, and I'm arriving at my Portofino, which is the Chateau St. John, at about 9:45. That's 13 and a half hours, because there's 1 hour time difference, which is not bad considering I took the all-Canadian route going way up and around the northern tip of Vermont and Maine. And I did the whole thing without breaking any significant laws. I did some speeding, but nothing exceptional. There's no reason to take extra risk when you're taking an impromptu 1,400 kilometer road trip that was not planned in a car that was not prepared or even maintained before the trip. So I'm kind of happy that the car made it. There are two people here that I love very, very much, with whom I had a week planned, and I'm not willing to give that up for their sake and for mine. And so with that in mind, that's why I cannonballed it to St. John tonight. Let's see if I make it by 9:45. And it looks like we did it.